All right. So here's some distance learning tools and rules. Please mute your microphone when I am speaking, or Ms. Davis or Mr. Spence or anyone is speaking for that matter. When someone else is speaking, please mute your microphone. Right now, everyone is muted out. And if Ms. Davis, Mr. Spence, or myself do not give you permission, you don't have permission to actually speak, or we don't want to hear your background. So please be courteous to others. Failure to comply with the above rules will get you deleted from the conference, and you will not get credit for assignment 1. Here's some tools that you're going to need for this lesson. I recommend you be on a computer. If you don't have access to a computer, it's not mandatory. It'll just make it easier for you to maneuver through this process. All of you who are on this current call, follow directions, because I made it mandatory for it to be a PGCPS email. A lot of you all email me from Hotmail and Google, not Yahoo and all these other emails, and that's not a permitted forum for school. I want you all to get in the mindset of thinking like a business person, or having a business mindset when it comes to handling business. Your school is a business, and you have an email whereby you should be communicating. So I intentionally made it so that you can't log in through another email, because that's not how we should be communicating anyway. So congratulations to those of you who follow directions. I recommend that you use a pen and paper for this assignment, because you may need to take some notes. If you're not able to do so, Mrs. Levy is going to show you how to make a double screen on your computer. So I'm assuming that everyone can see what I'm doing. I am creating another window here, and I am going to minimize my screen. Well, not maximize. Let's try that. And I'm just going to move a window over. I'm going to slide this out right here. I'm a little anal and detail oriented, so I like for both sides to be even, but if that's not your thing, it doesn't matter. On this side, you can either open up a Word document, depending on what works for your computer, go to your files and open up a Word document, or you can click on these little dots right here if it's on your computer, whatever it takes to open up a document, so that you are able to open up another window and just create another document. And if you do it in Google Drive, it's automatically saved. So you can just do U.S. history notes. And then you can come down here and take notes. So that's how you open up another window. All right, so let me maximize this and move forward. All right. So that's that. We're gonna go ahead and get started. These lessons are designed, you all, to be only 30 minutes, but we didn't really get started yet. So if you can hang out with me till about 12:45-ish or less, I would greatly appreciate that. We're gonna go ahead and get started with our affirmation. You all are muted, so if Ms. Davis wanna be my backup, that'd be awesome. Ms. Davis, you gonna back me up? Uh-oh, how about Mrs. Spence?
Yep, I got you. I'm monitoring 2 computers and a kindergarten graduate.
Oh my goodness. Mrs. Spence, can you back me up?
I can back you up. Just let me know what I need to do or say.
Okay, so I say the words in bold, and then you represent all of the students who are muted out by saying the words that are not in bold. And it'll come up slowly, so you'll kind of be able to see what it says, but at any rate, I believe. And then you
I believe. Am I saying it right?
I believe. This is funny. I believe, and then you say that. Say that.
Okay, awesome. I believe that all things are possible.
I believe.
I believe I will make a difference today.
I believe.
I believe in the impossible.
I believe.
I believe, yes, I believe in me.
Why?
I believe all these things because I'm actively participating in the process that makes a difference.
Because?
Because I am great.
Absolutely. So I hope all of my students have said this affirmation. Embed that in your heart. If you notice, during the school year, I had former students, they would come up to me and say, Miss Levy, I still remember the affirmation. So my expectation is that you all will remember this affirmation and take it with you. That's my gift to you. You can chime in and send in the chat, say thank you. All right, so today's topic, you all, is social justice. It is no secret unless you are living under a rock in terms of what is happening in our world right now. And so we have been mandated by the powers that be, the people who are in charge of the schools and social studies, to have this particular lesson. But here's the good news. Mrs. Levy and Mrs. Davis was already on point because we were giving you all information in preparation of today. It just so happened that this is what we were supposed to do anyway. So today's objective, students will explore the current events of the world, discuss how it is impacting them, and construct a persuasive letter. So here's the warm-up. Everyone needs to do this in order to get credit. I want everyone to take a picture of this slide. That's why you needed your cell phone. And so if you don't have your cell phone, you don't have all your tools for this particular assignment. So I'm gonna go over the instructions and then I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to do it. If you gotta go back and forth and look at this slide and do what I ask you to do, then hey, then you gotta work it out. But we're only gonna do this in 5 minutes. So you will only have 5 minutes to complete the following tasks. Number 1, take a picture of this slide and follow the instructions. Log into Google Classroom. Open assignment number 1. It's titled Final Distance Learning Lesson. I want you to type in your first and last name in that document that I've already provided. I made the document editable. So I don't know if everybody's gonna be typing on the document, but you gotta get your credit. So you gotta get it in where you fit in if everybody's in that document typing. Otherwise, if you're typing in the document and it's just you, I want you to type your name, and right beside your name, I want you to write liberty and justice for all. Make sure you go and click submit or turn it in. Now, the deadline for this was by 12:15. So it's going to say that it's late. You won't lose points for that. Not today, you won't. And so if you're on this conference call live lesson, I have it recorded. I know you were here. I also know if you kind of like send me a message in the chat. In order to get full credit for this assignment, you have to follow the first set of instructions, which is to open up assignment 1, type your first and last name, and then type liberty and justice for all. Click submit or turn it in. Then this week, we dropped loads of information in preparation for today. So what do you remember from the article that we dropped about pandemics that have changed history? What do you remember from the article that we dropped that had the information for the difference between the governor and the president? We also dropped something about the governor's powers and authority, the duties and responsibilities of mayors. I'm gonna throw one in there a little bit because I want to know, does Prince George's County have a mayor? You should know that. That's your county. I need you all to tell me that. The difference between the mayor and the governor. What is the First Amendment? And then the purpose of protest, according to Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And so we dropped all of that information. We've been giving y'all loads of information. Hey, look at this. So I hope you looked at it because now you don't have time. So now you're going to get 5 minutes from right now to get credit for your assignment 1 and jot down just in a few words. If it's one word that pops out from what you read or what you discussed with your parents. I also sent out a Blackboard email to all parents and guardians asking them to assist you with picking the brains of your elders in your family for the civil rights movement. And so you all have been loaded with lots of information this week. So I hope you didn't just kind of like sleep it away. And I want to hear from you. So we have 5 minutes and go. For those of you who didn't get an opportunity to actually look at what we put in Google Classroom, if you think you can pull off something crazy or unique in the next 3 minutes, have at it. The information is all in Google Classroom. All right, so time is up. And so for recording purposes, my assumption is that you all can rewind this. You can put it on pause so that you all can take your time to jot down a few things. Now, because of this actual mandate, you all, in terms of the actual lesson that I am instructed to teach today or facilitate, we won't have an opportunity to really dig into what I had originally prepared. But I do want to make sure you take the time to understand the history of pandemics and know how significant it is in comparison to something previous versus right now we're dealing with COVID-19 in terms of how it has changed history, because know that our new normal, we don't even know what that looks like. So that's one thing. In terms of the difference between the governor and the president, it's a reason why the president can't really do what he wants to do, and the roles and responsibilities of the governor differently from a mayor. And you all should know if we actually have, or if you all have a mayor in Prince George's County. I live in Anne Arundel County. And so today in the state of Maryland, I want you all, when you get off of this lesson, or if you're listening to this lesson, ask your parents, did they vote? Because it's the primaries that make a difference. A lot of people know about the big election, and I'm trying to use
Presidential election and the governor's race.
Okay, yeah. So come on, Ms. Davis, could help me out here. Jump in.
No, that's correct. I'm sorry. I was just keeping myself on mute. My recently graduated kindergartner is getting a lot of phone calls right now.
Woohoo! Go Wyatt. But go ahead, we're recording.
I know we're recording, I know. But the presidential race, the governor's race, the senator's race are very important, and those take place in November. But most recently, we just had the primaries race, which is for if you're a registered Democrat, Republican, or independent, you can vote for the person you would like to represent you in the larger races. So all the Democratic candidates were available, and we voted for them in their primary election in the state of Maryland, as well as all of the other 50 states. So we're kind of waiting for that information still, because we did a lot of ballot voting this year versus live voting. And I have to admit, Ms. Levy, I love that you said, did your parents vote? Because there were lots of people still waiting in line at 11 p.m. waiting to vote, which I think warms my political heart, because they did such a great job as humans. And if we didn't vote, it's still not too late, but we just can vote in the bigger elections. So make sure we go out for all elections.
Yes. And so just to kind of piggyback on what she's saying, this is definitely not a LSN class, but we are social studies teachers. And our job is to teach you how to study society. And everything that's going on right now in our world around us has something to do with everything that's important to us. And I hope that made sense. And so we provide information for you to know the difference. Also, the First Amendment, I can't hang out there because of what I'm mandated to do, but it's pretty much you have freedom of speech and you have rights in terms of being able to speak out against certain things. Early on in the school year, we went through the process of a movement. Somebody put in the chat who remember what that lesson was, because it was a group of people and they were fighting for their rights. Ms. Davis, can you see those answers?
I'm looking in the chat bar right now, or do you want me to look in the Google Classroom?
No, the chat bar. I want them to put in there.
Yep. I'll monitor. Nobody. Oh, we have our first one. Women's rights, suffrage.
Yeah, women's rights and suffrage. And so do you all remember where they gathered to make a change so that women could have rights? Do y'all remember that? Where was that? I want to see the chat. Hold on. Okay. Where did they gather, you all? Yes, Seneca Falls. Thank you, Elijah. And so this is what's happening right now, you all. They're gathering. Mr. Spencer, Ms. Davis can back me up, because I feel like I should probably have some stock in CNN right about now. But I heard, and I hate to say I heard, and I'm a history teacher and I can't give you the source, so I'm going to say somebody on CNN said that we have actually had protests in every single state per what's going on in the world right now. And because I can't give you the source, I'm gonna apologize in advance, because I don't like to do that, but I heard it. Somebody has said.
Mike, you help.
That's accurate. Wanda. Okay, cool beans. Excellent. And so, yes. And so that's pretty much what's happening right now. I don't know if you all understand the magnitude in terms of this will be in history books. It gives me chills when I think about it. When we talk about the civil rights movement, we see it in textbooks. This stuff is going to be in your textbook, in your children's, your grandchildren's, your great-grandchildren's textbooks, and they're going to have questions. So hopefully you all are paying attention. And that's all I can give for the lesson that I have prepared, but it definitely aligns with where I'm supposed to be, so let's keep it moving. So the purpose of today's lesson, you all, there is value in social justice education. This lesson is a small beginning to providing students with an opportunity to analyze the why behind the way that things are and why they're this way. And it is our job to help you chart a pathway and do that in your social studies classroom. So we're going to go ahead and keep moving. We have a couple of questions here, and for the sake of time, I wish I had a brief conversation with Mrs. Spence. It's such a short window to make a difference right now. And I don't want to be here until 3 o'clock this afternoon. I could be, but I won't. I want to hear from you. What do you want to know or understand about justice? Put those and put these responses in the chat for me, please. Do you desire to take action? What are your fears in this moment? and what gives you hope. So about 2 minutes, so we don't take a whole bunch of time. If you desire, drop some of that in the chat so we can see like what's going on, what's happening, what are you thinking, what are your thoughts, what do you want to know, what do you already know, what are your parents talking about, what are your leaders talking about, what are you seeing on TV? I want to see the chat. Okay. Okay, so nobody's really talking because this is probably very uncomfortable. And because nobody has started chatting yet, I'm not going to force you to do that. As a leader in the community, and I'm sure that Mr. Spence and Ms. Davis, oh, here they come, can stand with me. All right, well, let me be quiet and read some of these concerns. All right, so we're going to take a couple and then we're going to go ahead and move forward. Y'all keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yes. Yes, children. All right. Okay. Young folk. I don't know what's more appropriate. I want to call y'all my babies, but that would be inappropriate. I want to do something about all forms of injustice. Okay, Carmen. Christian Palacios. My thoughts are things are getting more and more crazier. Stores are getting destroyed, and I think we need a change. Y'all gonna make me cry today. That's why my camera's off for real. Aaron says, I want to take action, and I'm furious that I couldn't. Oh, that's not true, Aaron. That's not true, baby. Savannah, I want to know why nobody is listening to us. Savannah, who is us, baby? I need to know who us is, and give me some details when you say us. Is it children? Is it women? Because teenagers, because that's all that you represent right now. So what do you mean when you say us? After everything the African Americans have been through, oh, that's your us? Why isn't nobody in the justice system doing anything? Juana, I know and understand that what's going on is not right. Black brothers and sisters are being killed left and right, and they shouldn't be. If we have the right to fight for them, we should. Ashley, I want to know how long is it going to take to finally see justice being served? Angie, how can a young person who isn't old enough to vote have control over these types of situations? Chase, my fear is that this will be an endless cycle of violence. Savannah, I most definitely want to take action, especially me being from DC. Michael, my fears are that nothing's going to change in life, but I really hope they do. Carmen, I feel like because there is so much going on all at once, I kind of feel overwhelmed by everything. You're not alone, Carmen. Our students, Mrs. Spence, our students give me hope. They are more worldly and in tune than my generation. I can definitely touche to that, Mr. Spence. I truly believe the change lies within the students on this Zoom conference. Yes, y'all. Dorian, I feel like our generation is a change that everybody is looking for. I feel like all we need now is a leader and to organize and come together as one. Safi, Trump is going to become a dictator. I'm going to bind that up in the name of what I believe in. Excuse me, this is being recorded. Tyler, my fear is that I won't see the life I want to have if change doesn't happen. Christian, honestly, this year has been crazy and the future of humanity is at hand. Sarana, everyone, okay. And that's in response to who us in her comment. Juana, people are peacefully protesting and they're trying to take our rights of speaking out. They're wanting to keep us silent. Safi, he abuses his power along with the police. Timothy, I have a desire. I'm gonna read a couple more, you all, because y'all are rolling them in. Okay. Let's see. I heard from Sarana and Juana already. Jordan, I want to know why some people of other descent are so afraid of African American people and decide to take the lives of innocent people every day. Carmen, I heard from you, baby. I'm gonna come back. I heard from you, Juana. Sierra, I desire to take action. I want to know why it takes so long to get justice. I shouldn't have to fear about me and my family going outside. Naru, my fear is if more people are hurt or killed this movement and things only regress. Okay, I got you. Uh-oh, I lost Naru. There needs to be more people doing things for this because it is more important than a lot of things. Okay, so Ms. Davis and Mrs. Spence, I'm gonna stop right here at Nevaeh at 12:39. I want to make sure, because I just feel it in my heart, this is not part of the plan, you all, at the end of the lesson, because I think what you are saying is powerful enough to say it out loud. All over social media, maybe in your households, they always say their name. So I want to call your name out, and I want to actually say what you feel in this chat bar. But I'm going to stop at 12:39, Mrs. Spence and Ms. Davis at Nevaeh McClam, and I'll pick up at the end if that's okay with everyone. Okay? Because I'm feeling we can hang out here and like just not have a whole lesson and talk about this. All right. So we can move forward?
Yes.
Okay. This is good stuff, you all. I'm gonna show you this video clip. It's about 45 seconds when I when I looked at it, and we're gonna move forward.
It was a painful night in Minneapolis and a day of difficult questions about the death of George Floyd, his treatment by the police, and the department's relationship with citizens of color. All of this captured tragically on video when Floyd told the police, "I can't breathe." Amna Nawaz explores those questions. But first, Yamiche Alcindor has this report.
George Floyd! In Minneapolis, outrage over the death of George Floyd. Yesterday, hundreds gathered to protest his death in police custody on Monday. By nighttime, police used tear gas on crowds as they were demanding justice in the case. Some of the unrest took place at this intersection, where only a day earlier, the struggle between Floyd and the officers unfolded. Today, Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey said he would be requesting that the county attorney file charges against the officer who knelt on Floyd.
Why is the man who killed George Floyd not in jail? If you had done it, or I had done it, we would be behind bars right now.
Level of humanity.
Floyd's family has called for the 4 officers to be charged with murder.
Essentially, they executed him in front of us, and we watched his life leave his body.
Floyd's brother Rodney said the late 46-year-old, who was a bouncer at a local restaurant, was deeply loved.
A great people person. Everyone loves him. If you got a chance to know him, he gives out plenty of good energy, good vibes. He's happy, he's smiling all the time.
And Floyd's cousin, Sharita Tate, said the officers had failed to see the humanity in him.
He held no value to them whatsoever. They didn't care one way or another if he lived or died. And it was clear because as he was sitting there begging repeatedly for somebody to hear him say, "I cannot breathe," they just chose to look the other way.
The family's lawyer, Benjamin Crump, said the video is damning.
So I think any jury looking at this evidence, this overwhelming evidence, has to say, at some point, when they ignore his pleas, that intent informs.
With echoes of the 2014 Eric Garner case in New York, Floyd's death has drawn condemnation across the country. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Yamiche Alcindor.
Let's get a view now from a leading voice in the community. City Councilwoman Andrea Jenkins is the vice president of the council. She represents the area that includes that corner where the encounter between Floyd and the police occurred. She joins us now. Councilwoman Jenkins, welcome to the NewsHour and thank you for being with us. I want to begin with what you just heard from Mayor Frey. He was unequivocal early today. He said that officer needs to be charged. Do you agree with him?
Hello, Amza. Yeah, I absolutely agree with Mayor Frey in his call for charges to be filed against the officer involved, and I am calling for all of the officers involved to be investigated. You know, if as the mayor said, if you or I had stood by in the commission of a crime, then we would be charged as accomplices. And so it was clear to me what we witnessed in that video was a crime. And it was not only a crime against George Floyd, although he suffered the most deep injustice. But in my mind, it felt like it was a symbol for a knee on the neck of Black America. You know, the president has loosened the restrictions on the EPA, which we know is creating a issue in Black and brown communities all around this country, inhibiting our ability to breathe. The pandemic is impacting Black and brown communities disproportionately in regards to access to healthcare and testing, in regards to employment, in regards to who is dying from this pandemic. 60% of all the deaths have been Black and brown people. And so it seems like that was a symbol for America having its knee on the necks of Black and brown people in this country.
All right, you all. Again, like I stated earlier, I could hang out here. Before the video stopped, I said 45 minutes. I meant to say 425. It was 4.5 minutes, or 4 minutes and 50 seconds, or something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Oops, that was wrong. All right, so now what? Do something. And so this is your assignment, and we're gonna wrap it up. How can we, as citizens, ensure policymakers see the humanity in the people they write policy and laws for? And so in doing something, we're going to write for change. Now, yes, this is an assignment. However, this is a response to Aaron's comment that he felt like he can't do anything. We're going to write persuasive letters, you all, to a person who has the power to make positive change to policy. And so in Google Classroom, at the end of this call, just as I've been doing with my recorded lessons, between Ms. Davis and myself, we're going to upload this recording to YouTube. You'll be able to access it. You'll be able to rewind it, go slow, take your time. But right now, I'm just going to show you how to structure your letter. I put a link in here so that you can know what a policymaker is. So let's take a look at that, because I need you to partner with your parents to figure out who you're writing this letter to. There's not enough time in this Zoom lesson. Mrs. Spence wouldn't let me stay on here till like 5 o'clock to make sure that all your letters were all the punctuation and everything. I turned it to your English teacher. He's not gonna let me do that. So you have to do this with your parents. But a policymaker is someone who creates ideas and plans, especially those carried out by a business or government, a mayor, a school board, a corporation's board of directors, and the president of the United States are all policymakers. And so you can just Google this. What's this resource here that I found? Dictionary.com or something like that. And so you look up in terms of who is the person. Find the who in your area. Partner with your parents or some leader that will figure out who this letter can be addressed to. And so with that being said, it has to have a greeting, introduction to what's the issue. And so take what you put in the chat box in terms of your teenage issue. President Obama, he's still my president, let me correct that. The former president, Barack Obama, addressed the world via CNN, maybe another network. I told you I live on CNN yesterday, and he gave the mayors a charge, a responsibility. And so I would encourage you to research that and figure out what he said if you didn't get an opportunity to hear it for yourself. But what's your issue? Talk to your parents, your leaders who are going to actually help you with this. Now, our office hours are still 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday through Friday, all the way until June 17th. So if you need Ms. Levy to get in the trenches with you, I will do that. But it's obviously after 11:30 now, so I can't help you today. What's your supporting evidence? What's your proof? What's happening? So if you're addressing the issue that's happening right now, let's put that in the letter. Proposed solutions, what can be done? Possible counter arguments, potential changes in impact, closure, and signature. So this is just the structure, you all. I am encouraging you to get some help because we can make a difference in this. And so how do you write a persuasive letter? Here's a link that I'm going to offer you in Google Classroom, and here's the bones. Here's an example of how you're going to write it. And so this is going to be available to you in Google Classroom. And this will be due Monday, June 8th. The guidelines and the instructions just for assignment purposes will be placed in Google Classroom when we upload the video later today for your viewing purposes. But pretty much it's going to take a picture of what you've written, maybe upload it, show us what you've started to write. It does not need to be completed because this going to take some time. This not a quick, oh, Ms. Levy's assignment is due on June 8th. Let me hurry up and do it. Put some thought into it. Put your heart into it. What do you want to say? What do you want people to hear? And it's your generation, you all, that's going to make this difference. I believe Dr. King was 39. Was he 39 when he was assassinated? I know I always sound forever 21 because that's my line number, but I will be 46 this year. So Dr. King was younger than even I am on today when he was making a huge difference in our world. All right.
Ms. Levy?
Yes, sir.
So I just want to mention that I am really interested, and particularly interested in what we can do on the school level. And so as you all are writing this persuasive letter to talk about change and action, just kind of brainstorming that not only what we can do in the community or what we can do individually, but what can we do as a Suitland Ram and as a Suitland Ram culture? And what does that look like individually or collectively? And my anticipation is that this conversation will lead into some sort of formal action at the school, starting whenever we formally get to getting back together, either virtually or physically. So I just wanted to drop that in there. That's my request.
Excellent. I will actually include what Mrs. Finch just stated into the actual instructions for your structure and some suggestions. Again, you all, the assignment itself that's due on June 8th is not going to be a whole lot. It's probably going to just show me your structure. Show me some things that you kind of came up with in preparation of sending this letter off. Because I just not confident unless you want to. I don't think it's something that you can just kind of take lightly and write it quickly. But for assignment purposes, it's pretty much going to be the bones of what's your plan, what's your goal? How do we make this change? If that makes sense. All right, so here's your exit ticket. This is the part B of getting your credit for today. In the chat box, send either myself, Ms. Davis, or even Mr. Spence, your leaders that are on this call or this live lesson. The leaders only, not to, you can't send a message to your friend, I don't believe. And I think you're only able to send it to a host. So if you're not able to send it to Mr. Spence or Ms. Davis, just send it to me because I was the initial host in the lesson. Based on everything that is going on in the world right now, how's it impacting you overall? So I need to see that in the chat. When I print this out, I'll see everybody's response. That's how you're going to get your full credit for assignment 1. You already put it in Google Classroom, your first and last name, Liberty and Justice for All. And now I need you to tell me, how is this impacting you overall? Some people might say, it's just a lot. Somebody might say, I'm good, I'm afraid, I want to help. Whatever those thoughts are, we want to hear from you. All right, so that's that. And then important dates. So today is definitely the last lesson. Monday, June 8th is the last assignment due date. Now, y'all know how Ms. Davis and Ms. Levy roll. Late assignments is not our culture and our classroom. However, due to this whole distance learning experience, we are willing to work with you, but you have to give us something to work with. So if we haven't heard from you and there's no real good reason why you need to turn in assignments beyond June the 8th, then please don't waste our time. You have to actually have a reason. So I'm tired or I'm sleeping all day. Those aren't valid reasons and we're just not interested. And then be courteous to us because we have to actually put your grades into SchoolMax. Now I've been doing a pretty decent job of at least responding in Google Classroom, but I'm home too. I have my family as well. I have teenagers who act like y'all in my house all day, every day. And so I'm a real person and I'm doing the best that I can because I get overwhelmed too, and that's truth. And so my goal this next week, not this week, is to make sure that every single grade is at least in SchoolMax. But if you don't have a reason and we haven't already discussed it, please have all your work in by June 8th. Last but not least, The last day of school is June 15th, not the 16th. It was because of the June 2nd election. It ended up being a holiday or something like that. I received in an email. And so your last day of school will be Monday, June 15th, not the 16th. And that's all, folks. So look at that, 12:55. My goal was 12:45, but 10 minutes, you know, it's all good. So I'm going to actually take this off of sharing. Mrs. Smith, do I need to continue recording, or I can start recording too?
Yeah, you're good. You can stop.
Okay, so we're gonna stop this recording. Wait a minute, pause.